It's playoff time for Quinnipiac Winter Sports. The men's ice hockey team look to advance to the ECAC quarterfinals. Would they make it through a 3-game series against Brown?
Plus, both Quinnipiac basketball teams tried their hand at winning a MAC championship. Was there magic in Albany for Tom Moore and company? And could the regular season champion women's team cut down the nets at the Times Union Center? All aboard that's coming aboard. This is Sports Paws.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Kyle Lavasser.
And my name is MJ Baird. Kyle, it's March. They call it madness for a reason. Do you know Trisha Fabry?
You know, I've heard of her once or twice.
You know, well, if you don't, you probably should. Her women's basketball team won the MAC regular season. They're the #1 seed in the conference tournament, and they've played in 4 straight conference championship games.
Quite the resume.
Quite the resume, indeed. This year, they look to make it 5 straight. Let's see how they did.
At the Times Union Center in Albany, New York, the #1 seeded Quinnipiac Bobcats finished the regular season with a 17-3 MAC record, and it was head coach Trisha Fabry's birthday. Senior Adelie Martucci says, "Happy birthday, coach. Here is a layup." She would lead all scorers with 19 points. Here she is again trying for 3 off the rim, but Morgan Mans is there with the and one. She'd finish the game with 6 points. But Canisius, what a first half they would have. MJ, they're leading 33-26 at the half. Is this really the end of the season for the Bobcats?
Kyle, is the #8 team going to upset the #1?
Carly Fabry says, no thank you. She hits a 3. But Canisius again. Another 3-pointer for the Golden Griffs. They lead 48-45 going into the 4th quarter. A minute 30, tied at 57. Carly Fabry, dagger. 50% from 3 on the day. Let's see it again. This would be the game-winning shot as Quinnipiac wins 63-58. Her teammates love it because they're going to play Iona.
As right you are, Kyle, as they should be playing Iona in the next round. This is a rematch of last year's MAC championship game. Quinnipiac, of course, the 1. Iona, the #3 seed. Kyle, they split the regular season series. Morgan Mans, check out this hustle play, Kyle. Not only strips the ball away, but takes the deep 2-pointer, puts it in. That's 2 of her 9 points on the day. Later in the first half, though, it's the MAC preseason player of the year, Marina Lizarazu. Tough finish there. Uses the backboard and the rim to put that one in. But Lizarazu, again, Kyle, just showing off why she won that award, and perhaps one that she would win later on in this tournament. We'll just have to wait and see. Lizarazu gets the ball in the corner, takes a quick step to the right, a deep 2. She knocks that one in. Quinnipiac down only 2 points at the half, though. And check out this passing sequence, Kyle, from the Bobcats. Stroutmanet.
Textbook passing.
To McClure. To Stroutmanet. To Jen Fay and Kyle. No hocus pocus, just focus from Fay from behind the 3-point arc. She puts Quinnipiac down only 3. Carly Fabry, no, it's Adelie Martucci again. Things will be great when you're downtown, and things are great on the Quinnipiac sideline, as they should be. Quinnipiac is heading, Kyle, to the MAC championship game.
For the second time in 3 years, Trisha Fabry's women's basketball team is going dancing. Just hours ago, the Quinnipiac Bobcats defeated the Rider Broncs 81-73 in the MAC championship game. Erin McClure had a career-high 28 points, while Jen Fay and Adelie Martucci each tallied 16. The Bobcats will advance to the NCAA tournament and try to do something they've never done before, win an NCAA tournament game. And MJ, there was a plethora of Quinnipiac women's basketball players that made the All-MAC championship team. You look at your screen, Erin McClure, Jen Fay, and Carly Fabry all making the All-Championship team, where Adelie Martucci was the tournament's MVP. Just a great season. We'll see if they advance past the first round of the national tournament.
And Kyle, Adelie Martucci, she is standing by after the MAC championship game with Q30's own Maury Hirschgren. Let's take a listen.
Looks like we're having technical difficulties, but we're going to bring in women's basketball beat reporter Brian Schwartz is on the phone. He is in Albany right now. He was at all of the women's games for the tournament. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Great. Well, Brian, you saw this team. They came back in 3 straight games. A tough game in Canisius in the first round. They beat their arch rival Iona in the semifinals. Then they get that championship. What were your thoughts on the weekend?
Yeah, you know what? They had slow starts to every single game, but they ended up pulling out in the end. It was Canisius the first game where they really went on a run in the fourth quarter. Iona in the third quarter, they really went on a run. And today in the second half, they didn't play well at all in the first half, but they really just turned it around. Aaron McClure stepped up at big time. She had 28 points today, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a career game for her. Jen Fay had the game of her life, too. 10 rebounds, 16 points, a double-double through 3 quarters. She played really well offensively and defensively. And Natalie Martucci, you can't say enough about the way she's played this whole season. She's been the player to step up every single game, and she was just speechless after the game. She was so excited having won this tournament in her senior year.
Brian, the MAC championship team, it's been announced. We just showed it to our viewers. But in your opinion, did they get this MAC championship team right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Carly Fabry deserved to be on it. She hit the game-winning 3 the other day. Natalie Martucci, obviously tournament MVP. She's been the MVP for this team, no doubt about it. Aaron McClure, game of her life today. And Jen Fay played really well. She played well, and you couldn't even see it in the stat sheet. She was always around the ball, hustling for the ball, down on the floor, making key three-pointers. So I think they definitely did get it right.
Brian, yet again, Tricia Fabry's team will advance to the national tournament, and they're trying to do something they've never done before and actually win an NCAA tournament game. What do you think they need to do to beat one of those top-tier teams in a Power 5 conference?
Yeah, well, they're probably going to be a 12 or 13 seed, so it's going to be tough. They're going to play a top team in a Power 5 conference. But you know what? As long as they don't get out to the slow starts, which they've been doing the past few games, they can have a chance because they just have so much firepower throughout this whole team. And like we say it every day, it's anyone who's going to step up. We know Natalie Martucci's playing with such an intensity that is just unlike no other now. And they have the defense, which I think really helps. The defensive presence from Stroutman and Martucci and McClure even today. And then you have Carly Fabry hitting threes, Jen Fay doing everything, Adele Thornton, Sarah Schuin. You can go on and on. Everyone's playing at the top level, and they're just really playing so well. So I think why not? As long as they just can't get off the slow starts against these types of teams.
Brian, thank you so much from your insight from the Times Union Center. Kyle, the women's basketball team, as we said, is going dancing, but could the men do the same? 8-seeded Quinnipiac took on 9th-seed Niagara in the first round. Let's check out the tape, Kyle.
Let's do it.
As I said, Quinnipiac and Niagara, both teams struggling coming into this game. Quinnipiac on a 6-game skid, Niagara on a 5-game skid of their own. Take you right to the first half here. Maurice Taylor Jr. for 3. This is the first basket of the game, puts Niagara up 3-0. However, Quinnipiac, they storm back. They have the lead right before this play. It's Peter Kiss on the inbound, but Kyle, that is Niagara. That's not Quinnipiac.
Can't make those mistakes if you're one of the top scorers on the team.
Niagara cuts down the lead to only 1 point, and we'll take it to the second half action. It's Khalil Dukes. Little show and go. Oh, Peter Kiss, where you going, my friend? That one goes in, and Niagara now leads by 4. A little later in the second half, Khalil Dukes, good assist here. Watch this pass. Movement of the ball from Niagara. That's what it takes. And it's James Towns from downtown. Niagara extends their lead to 13 points. And Kyle, Niagara just Quinnipiac does not come back from this one, losing to Niagara 88-69. Quinnipiac finishes the season on a 7-game losing streak.
Tough losing streak if you're the men's basketball
Absolutely tough.
team. Well, we're now going to bring in men's basketball beat reporter Chris Dacey, who was also in Albany for the weekend. Chris, how you doing? Looks like we don't have Chris, but you know, it was a short weekend in Albany for the men's basketball team, but there was some news and there were some bright spots, especially with the rookies. The season is finally over, and the Bobcats dropped 7 games in a row to finish their season, yet Mikey Dixon and Peter Kiss seem to give some bright future for this team.
If you're Tom Moore and you're looking at your roster, it's Peter Kiss, it's Mikey Dixon, and Chase Daniels for next year. He even said it after the game. They're going to be 3 of the top 15 players in the MAC next year.
Their 3 top scorers are returning in those 3, and we're now going to go to Dylan Fearon, who was with Mikey Dixon after the game.
For the first time in 15 years, the Quinnipiac men's basketball program boasts the league's top freshman. I'm joined by Mikey Dixon, who just won the 2017 MAC Rookie of the Year award. Mikey, thanks for hopping on. First of all, congratulations. How does it feel?
Thank you. You know, it feels great. I know obviously it's a great accomplishment, but you know, I just couldn't say I couldn't done it without my teammates and my coaches. You know, it's a great feeling.
Was this something you were aiming for all season long?
I mean, yeah. I just wanted to, coming in, just have a good freshman year, and then, as I got going into the year, and I really start playing well. I'm like, hey, I can really get this award, so why not?
You're a prolific scorer, 16.8 points per game, good for 6th in the MAC. But towards the end of the season, you really put up your rebounding numbers. Yeah. Do you think that really separated yourself from guys like Peter Kiss and Stevie Jordan?
I think that did. Everyone knew that obviously, I was a big-time scorer. But, and I even had talks with coaches, like with Coach Moore, just trying to, evolve my game and just do more things, and rebounding, for my size, people will look at that and they will really be wowed by it because I'm not the biggest guy. But, if I go out there and get, 10, 11 rebounds, that'll really be noticed, being 160 pounds.
Right. Tremendous freshman campaign. What do you have to do now in the offseason, after the season's over, to make sure there's no freshman to sophomore year slump?
Yeah, stay in the weight room, just keep getting stronger, getting my body, now, trying to, turn my body into, older, like how the older guys are in this conference, and, just get ready, be a vocal leader, so I can, keep gaining my teammates' respect going into next year, and I think that'd be huge for me.
Mike, congratulations once again. Good luck with everything. From the Albany Capitol Center, Dylan Fearon, Q30 Sports.
Quite the year for Dixon. Now we have men's basketball beat reporter Chris Stacy standing by. Chris, how are you doing today?
Chris, Kyle, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Great. Well, Chris, it was only a one-game tournament for the men's basketball team, but what were your thoughts on the tournament as a whole?
Yeah, Kyle, you said it was a one-game tournament for this men's basketball team. They lost to the 9th seed Niagara, 88-69. Just not all good performance defensively for this team. Niagara had many players score in 10 points or more. You had Matt Scott lead the team with 19 points. Yeah, Pete Kiss scored 15.7 assists and 6 rebounds. Mikey Dixon really struggled in this game, only 8 points, 5 assists. And again, like you said, a really nice, really short trip to Albany for this men's basketball team.
So, Chris, Tom Moore said after the game he was concerned a little bit with his job security going forward. Obviously, losing 7 games in a row. He's been here so long now and hasn't won a MAC tournament. What do you see as the future for Tom Moore and this Quinnipiac basketball team?
MJ, the future for Tom Moore is a little blurry right now. He was asked after the game how he felt about his future here, and he said he was concerned, not going to lie. Over the past 3 years, or the 3 seasons, he's 34-57, and like you said, never won a MAC championship. He also, if you look at it, he did not have Donovan Smith this year. Reggie wasn't available. He had a family emergency at home. He had to be in Florida, and the odds were kind of against Tom Moore here a little bit. Even Steve Masiello, the head coach of Manhattan, said Tom is a terrific coach and a terrific person, and he says he can be, and Quinnipiac can be a real factor in the MAC in the next coming years. So right now it's up in the air.
Chris, thank you so much. Safe travels back to campus from Albany. Kyle, we're going to take a quick break, but when we return, spring sports season is upon us. From the diamond to the turf, which Quinnipiac teams would come away victorious?
And the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team looked to stay on a roll as it entered the ECAC tournament. How would they fare in a 3-game series against Brown? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
And welcome into Studio 125.
So what? If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say, yes, there is a controversy.
Line, getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another Monumental player.
Coming up, and hashtag that. We are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Kyle, Rand Pecknold's men's ice hockey team had never lost a first-round playoff series in the ECAC heading into this weekend. Pretty impressive stat line, don't you say?
Absolutely.
Well, the question is, could they keep up that streak against Brown this weekend? Kyle, in game one, Quinnipiac took care of business, beating Brown by a final score of 6-1. Absolute offensive effort from the Bobcats.
Absolutely. You and I were both there. Let's check out game two, though.
Absolutely, Kyle. Let's get right to the tape. Quinnipiac versus Brown from the High Point Solutions Arena. Game two. Kyle, Landon Smith, he's one of the players for Quinnipiac I want you to watch out for in this highlight. Of course, as I said, Quinnipiac leads the series 1-0. And there's the man I just talked about, Landon Smith, Kyle. Quinnipiac on the power play, gets a nice give-and-go pass, puts that one top shelf. Kyle, what do you say? Let's take another look.
Yeah, the man they call Lando. He leads the team in points right now, and this is exactly why. Top right corner.
Slow motion goal there from Smith. Smith, obviously, as I said, a huge factor, Kyle, in Quinnipiac's success of late at the end of the ECAC regular season. We'll take it to the second period, though. 3-1 Quinnipiac at this point. Brown's still in the game. They put a goal in here, but Kyle, Andrew
Shortridge.
Yeah, no, he doesn't think so.
High stick.
Yes, and the refs will take a look at it. They come out of the tunnel, and, well, Shortridge was right, Kyle. No goal. So at this point, it's still 3-1 Quinnipiac. And Brown, after that, they just really have nothing. Connor Clifton with a great screen from Bo Pieper makes it 4-1. Bo Pieper adds an empty net goal for the Bobcats to make it 5-1. And that's the final score. Seniors pick up 100 wins as a class, Kyle. 20-plus win seasons of each of their 4 years. Here's Tommy Schutt after the game.
Well, no Tommy Schutt, but a couple other key players so far. Some players just seem to turn their game up come playoff time. For Quinnipiac, Connor Clifton and Landon Smith do just that. Both Bobcats are reigning members of the All-ECAC Tournament team, with Clifton being last year's most outstanding player. Clifton, Quinnipiac's active career postseason leader in points, has 5 points in his last 5 games. The captain scored twice against Brown this past weekend. Smith, who is only behind Clifton in career postseason points, has 5 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games. Smith also leads Quinnipiac with 28 points this season.
Kyle, we are headed to North Country, New York next weekend for the quarterfinal round between Quinnipiac and St. Lawrence. But there's more than just Quinnipiac and St. Lawrence next weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a long drive full of country music, a lot of drive-thrus, but also there's 8 other teams that remain in the ECAC tournament, 4 that will advance to Lake Placid for the semifinals and championship game, and only 1 will hoist the White Law Cup as ECAC champions. USCHO Arena reporter Gabby Riggy gives her predictions on which teams will advance to the semifinal round.
Thanks, guys. I'm Gabby Riggy here again with your ECAC quarterfinals picks this time. Let's jump right in. Harvard and Yale. Yale coming in against Dartmouth. They were on the ropes a lot at home. It took overtime to get them to win. They have a really good history between Harvard and Yale. They had an overtime game in Game 3. 2 seasons ago, Jimmy Vesey potted that game for Harvard in Ingalls. I'm going to go with Harvard again. They're one of the best teams in the East. They're absolutely dominant now. They're number 3 in the pairwise. They've looked really, really strong thus far. Game on series number 2, I'm going to go Union and Princeton. Princeton was on the ropes a lot against Colgate. Looked like Colgate as number 10 was going to could pull up an upset. Union's number 8 in the pairwise, though, 3rd in win rank percentage. I'm going to go with the Dutchman again. They look like that team that won the national title 2 years ago, so I'm not doubting them at all at this point. I think they're going to make a really strong push and make it to Lake Placid. Now, number 3, Cornell and Clarkson. I'm not really sure about. Cornell, is 7-3-3 at home. They've had 3-3 ties this whole season. They've played each other very evenly. Cornell is a great playoff team, so I think we're actually going to flip a coin and see. Heads is going to be Cornell. Tails is going to be Clarkson. We have heads. Cornell at home as the number 3 is going to take this series then for me, guys. The last one, the one everybody's keeping an eye on. I'm going to disappoint Bobcats fans here. I think it's going to be very, very close. But St. Lawrence has been so much better against the Bobcats historically these past 5 years. They were the thorn in their side the year. The first time they made the national championship run, they lost in Appleton, and had a tie. Quinnipiac came away with the shootout win in Ireland. I think they weren't able to fully get an understanding of what the other team was truly made of. So I think the Saints, by virtue of being home and a 9-hour trip away, that's going to do it for the Bobcats. And that's going to do it for me here, guys. I'm going to send it back to you on the desk.
The Quinnipiac men's lacrosse team picked up its first win of the season this past weekend against the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Brian Feldman and Ryan Corcoran both picked up hat tricks on the day, combining for 6 of Quinnipiac's 11 goals. 3 fourth-quarter goals propelled the Bobcats to victory. Senior goaltender Jack Bruss did not play on Saturday, but the defending MAC Tournament most outstanding player is standing by with Q30's Tom Cunningham. Tom, what do you got?
Kyle, MJ, thank you. I'm joined alongside Quinnipiac men's lacrosse goalkeeper Jack Bruss. Jack, thanks for coming on tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's get right into it. You guys are picked to finish first in the MAC preseason poll. Does that sort of put some extra pressure on you guys, knowing you have to perform and these expectations are so high for you guys after the season you had last year?
You know what? I don't think it's so much pressure. I think it's more of a compliment. You know, it's a poll by the coaches, and they realize, you know, we got a pretty talented group coming back, and it's more of a testament to our skill level as a team.
And so you guys have 2 more non-conference games before the conference schedule starts up. What are some of the things you really have to shore up on and really have to work on as you head towards the MAC play, which is really more important for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's kind of figuring out how to navigate the game and play a full 60 minutes. You know, we've been struggling a little bit early on in terms of, you know, being able to play that full 4 quarters, and over the course of these next 2 games, I think it's important for us as a team to kind of figure out how to, you know, put all the pieces together for a full 60 minutes.
And, you know, obviously, you haven't played last game. You're out this next game, you said. So what sort of things can you do from the sidelines to make sure the team is getting ready and really playing, clicking on all cylinders?
I think it's just be everyone's biggest fan. You know, I'm a pretty vocal guy, and you know, I like being positive on the sidelines, getting guys fired up, and if I can, you know, make one guy be louder than he normally is, then I've served my purpose on the sideline.
And so now, off the field, one of the seniors this year, once you do get back onto the field, what are some of the things that you can take and sort of make sure the guys are doing well when you're in net, and what are some of the things you look for these guys to really do well to make you guys succeed?
I think it's just being resilient. You know, you got to always worry about the next play, not the last one, not 2 ahead of you, just what's the moment in front of you. And I think that's really important in trying to, like I said, navigate through the game and play that full 60 minutes.
Jack, thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
MJ, Kyle, back to you guys.
It's time for another break here on Sports Paws, but when we come back, there were plenty of highlight reel plays from this past week. Which ones found a spot on our top 5 plays of the week?
And one Quinnipiac spring athlete, Kyle, took home an incredible honor this past weekend. Who was it and what did she do? Stay with us. Sports Paws rolls on.
All this and more
coming up on the Q30 Newscast. Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
The Women's Basketball All-MAC Championship MVP, Adelie Martucci, caught up with Maury Hirsch-Gordon right after the championship game. Maury?
The first Quinnipiac women's basketball player to win three conference championships. Adelie Martucci, can you put into words right now how you're feeling?
I honestly can't. This is just an unreal experience. I actually have no words to say, but the fact that I'm just proud of my team and all that we've accomplished this year. We've been through a lot of hell, and it's just so nice to come up on top and accomplish what we came to accomplish.
You came into Quinnipiac in 2012, in the fall of 2012, with Maria Napolitano. She got injured last year. How important was this championship win this year to help, avenge the one from last year?
This one was for Maria. This one was for Bijan, who's sitting in that wheelchair right there. This one's for Bree, who got her career taken from her 2 years early. This is for the Bobcats that came before me, that showed me the way. This is for QU. This is for everyone. This is for everyone.
You're going dancing, but is it the last stop?
We're trying to make history. We're trying to make history. We ain't stopping here. I'm not ending my career without a win in the NCAA tournament.
Thanks, Dad. Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you very much.
Teletubbies in the background. You gotta love the student section traveling to Albany to support the women's basketball team. The baseball team is now 5-5 in out-of-conference play. After a 3-game road trip to North Carolina on Friday, Quinnipiac dropped an 11-inning nail-biter to Wake Forest, losing 2-1. After getting shut out by Radford University 4-0 on Saturday, Quinnipiac would bounce back on Sunday with a 4-2 win against Kent State. Quinnipiac will travel to the Virginia Military Institute for a 3-game series this weekend.
The Quinnipiac women's lacrosse team suffered a heartbreaking double overtime loss to Army on Sunday. Allison Kuhn and Julia Corris each netted 2 goals, but that wasn't enough as Rachel Horntrick netted her team-leading 14th goal in the second overtime to lift Army West Point to victory.
The MAC's most outstanding track performer, Jessica Lee, made history this past weekend. Lee is the first Quinnipiac indoor ECAC champion in program history, winning the 60-meter hurdles. This is Lee's 3rd championship event she's won this season, as she also took first place in the MAC and New England 60-meter hurdles. Lee placed first in 7 of the 8 meets she ran in this season.
Kyle, guess what time it is?
Is it top 5 plays time?
I think it is. Let's check them out. Top 5 plays of the week, Kyle, sponsored by B&D Deli Works, home of the Quinnipiac Panini and the Q-Dog Sub. Stop in for breakfast or lunch, Kyle, number 5.
I'll get things going on the power play of Quinnipiac men's hockey versus Brown. Landon Smith, we've been talking about him all show, goes top right shelf. Quinnipiac would win 5-1.
Play number 4, men's basketball versus Niagara, Kyle. As I said before, little shake and bake from Khalil Dukes. He step backs, 3-pointer. Niagara goes on to beat the Bobcats.
Women's B-ball versus Canisius in the first round. Erin McClure is going to find Carly Fabry for the game-winning 3-pointer. Straight money from Fabry, giving her mom a nice little birthday present.
Absolutely, Kyle. Same women's basketball team, different game, though. This passing sequence from the Bobcats was absolutely fantastic. Jen Fay finishes it off with the mid 3-pointer.
And the number 1 play of the week, Thomas Aldworth, the Texan. This ain't his first rodeo. Nice backhand goal past Gavin Nieto. Quinnipiac would go on to win 6-1.
Kyle, 30 minutes. Where does the time go?
They say if time goes by when you're having fun.
That's right, Kyle. The next couple weeks are absolutely huge for Quinnipiac sports, between women's basketball making it to the big dance and the men's ice hockey team in the ECAC quarterfinals. The season could go late into March, so be sure to check out all the content Q30 is putting out on our website at www.q30television.com.
And for all the coverage our beat reporters have done and will continue to do for the MAC and ECAC tournaments, follow at Q30 Sports and at sports_Paws on Twitter. This is the last episode of Sports Paws before spring break. But remember, it's only a break, and we'll be back same time, same place. Thanks for watching Sports Paws. Have a good night.